Hello everyone, welcome to Pandas tutorial. This is another video of Pandas tutorial in which we are going to discuss concatenate. So Pandas offer concatenate functionality also, in which we can concatenate two or more than two datasets together and make one single dataset. So here we have temp data, which is one data which has two columns, date and temp max, and another data which is rainfall data, which has two columns again, one is same date and rainfall. So this is how it looks. Temp data is this date has one column, temp max, and then this date and rainfall. So let's see how concatenate works and how we can concatenate these two data sets into one. We can concatenate more than two also, but we will see for two, and then we can extend it to more than two. So to find, so let's say final concat is equal to so it is pd dot concat. So this is the functionality that is there inside pandas, which using which we can concatenate data sets. So in this we can give data frames which we want to concatenate. So here we have two data frames, one is temp data and rainfall data. So I'll put temp data comma rainfall data. So this, and since we have to put it in the list, so I'll put them in the list. Okay, and let's see if it works. Okay, so it has executed it and made it a single data set, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so it has done concatenation, but let's see how it has performed this action. So by default there is one parameter called axis in that, and the axis defines in what manner we are concatenating our data set. So here if we see, we have dates. Date is there in rainfall data also and in temp data also. So 12 to 16 is the date in temp data, and 12 to 16 is date in rainfall data. And here if we see 12 to 16, so from this 12 to 16 we are getting, and then again 12 to 16 we are getting here. So what is happening here, we are concatenating temp data and rainfall data. So it has first taken concatenate temp data, so these two, temp max and date, right? Date and temp max, these two columns belongs to temp data, because temp max is in temp data and rainfall is in rainfall data. So it has taken this these values first, all the values of temp data, and it has concatenated this with rainfall data. So temp max, since rainfall does not have any column named temp max, we are getting none values for it, and rainfall is not in temp max in temp data, so we are getting none for rainfall here. So it has concatenated it, and then, so this is one way of concatenating two data set. There is one more way of concatenating the same data set. So let's see how that works. So if I have taken this, I want to concatenate column wise, means this is so here we have done it vertically in some sense, we can say. So if we want to concatenate it horizontally or column wise, we can define our axis equals to 1. So let's see what axis equals to 1 does. Final concatenate, and now if you see, this is slightly different from the previous one. So what is happening here, it has date temp max and date rainfall here. So what is happening, this date and temp max, so first two rows from here, this is one temp data set, and this date and rainfall, these two belongs to rainfall data set. So it has concatenated these two column wise, or we can say horizontally. So it has taken two data set together and attached them horizontally. So this is how concatenate works. There are two functionalities. One, we can concatenate vertically, and one we can concatenate horizontally. So there are one more functionality after that, which is called keys. So keys is something which is very important in concatenate. Let's see what does it mean and what we can achieve using keys. So I'll take final concat key 1 I'll put, and here I will put pd dot. So same thing here, exactly what we have done, and instead of also let's just start with access. So by default access is 0. So here if when we have performed, it has taken access as 0. So by default the value of access is 0. Okay, so here now see what is the use of key. So I'm by default access is 0, so I'm not putting access as of now, and keys I can put something like this. So I'm putting two keys. One is, for example, let's say A comma B, right? And let's see how it is, what it is doing. Now if you see, it has two things here, which is, okay, just one second, it should be like this. Okay, so it has two, it has added one extra thing, which is here A and here B. So what this is, what is happening here? So we have our data set, temp data and rainfall data, that we have concatenated vertically. But if we want to still somehow differentiate from our original data, which is temp data and rainfall data, if we want the differentiation to be there, I can put keys equal to A comma B. So A will belong to temp data and B will belong to rainfall data. This will help to access the values that are in temp data or the values that are in rainfall data. So what will happen here? So we have concatenated it and we have made it one single data set. But if still we want to access some value which is in temp data or the max value of temp data, for example, so we can access in this manner. We can access using the keys of it, because A belongs to temp data and this B belongs to rainfall data. So if we want to access like this, we can access final concat key 1, and in that I will put first A. This is the key which will belong to the temp data. So now I have temp data with us, and after that, okay, so this is not directly this is dot location. So this dot location we will use here. I hope you are familiar with dot location. If you are not, then there are tutorials already made on this. You can watch it. So if I put this and see, I am getting my temp data back. So it is not coming directly from the original, it is coming from here, but I can access my temp data part in the from the original data set, from the concatenated data set. So from the concatenated data set I can access the part of temp data, and inside it, if I want to access, for example, temp max, I can use temp max here, and then I can say dot max. So it will give the max value. So for example, here I have so many values, though these are none values. So I have this much values and I want to access max of it. So I have this A. First of all, it will access the temp data, and then the column temp max in it, and then max of it. So it will give you 26.9, which is the max value in this temp max column, and it will not check these values because we have already filtered using a key A. So it will only going to check the values that are in temp data. Okay, so similarly we can do for, and we can apply any function min max which can do further filtering. So after that, let's create one more data set. I have created it here. So this is this will look something like this, which has name, age, score, and name, age, score, and extra. So this is extra column that I have put. Otherwise these two data frames have three similar columns, name, age, score here also, name, age, score here also. So after that, and I want to use this, so I want to show, so here we have discussed functionality of keys with axis equal to 0. So let's discuss this with axis is equal to 1. So I'll copy this here and put axis equal to 1. So this is df1 and df2, and I'm still putting keys a comma b, and I can put axis equal to 1. Okay, so how my final concatenate looks like. Okay, so it is something like this. So my keys went from the position of rows to position of columns. So here we have A and B on the top of our data set. A belongs to the data which is temp data, and B belongs to the data which is rainfall data. So these name, age, score, this is coming from the temp data, and these name, age, score, and extra coming from rainfall data. So now since axis is 1, we have concatenated them horizontally, and this is how the output looks like. So now if I want to access the, since score is here in A also and score is here in B also, right? So but if I want to access the score of data set A or the data set temp data, the minimum score of temp data, so in this, and we have concatenated this. So this is not the original data, temp data and rainfall data. We have concatenated them, and we want to find the minimum value of a score in temp data section. So using the key I can access like that. So I have a final concatenate key 2, and similarly I will put A here, right? So this will make sure that I'm getting the section which belongs to temp data, and after that I want the score column to be accessed, right? So to access a score column I will put a score, and then after that I want the minimum of it, so I will put minimum, and I get 85 because 85 here belongs to minimum value. And if I put B here instead of A, it will give minimum from rainfall data, which is 82 here. So this is how we can use the functionality of keys. And one more functionality that exists in concatenate, which is we can specify join also. So whether join, we must have seen join in SQL, which can be inner join, outer join, left and right join. So we can specify join here. So one is one of the very important join which we can use inside concatenate is inner. That is very helpful to get the data which is important for us or which is of our use. So let's see how we can use it. So in this similar data set, if we notice, we have name, age, score, and then extra also. So for example, if I want to access if I want to create one more data set and I want to concatenate in such a manner, I will take name, age, score from here and name, age, score from here also. I don't want extra with us. So I can apply join, I can specify join is equal to inner, which will, and if access is, so for example, if I'm joining these two or I'm concatenating these two vertically, means one data set on the top of another data set, and I want to join in such a manner, I want to leave extra out, means this extra column I want to leave, and rest of the columns I want to concatenate. So to do that, we can simply put join is equal to inner. So for example, here we have done the same, and we have this extra column that we want to leave, and we can do in this manner. So what we will do for it, final data is equal to pd dot concatenate. So concat we will use, and then we will, in the list we will give the data set df1 and df2, and then axis is equal to 0. I want to concatenate them vertically, and then I will specify join as inner, and after that we'll see how the result is. I'll put this at final. So now if you see, my final data looks like this, which has no extra, no column named extra here. So it has left extra from the df2 and then concatenated vertically. So this is this can be very useful while working with data in some project, whether you where you have two data sets in which you want to concatenate only few columns which are common, and you want to leave all the other columns that are not common. So you can concatenate using join is equal to inner, and it will make sure that you are only taking those columns that are common in both the data sets, and then it will concatenate. Okay, so that is all about concatenate. There are more functionalities also for concatenate. You can look it from the pandas documentation also. So we can stop here. Thank you.